Last time on Almost Heroes.
So we picked up, having just freed Gerd the Goblin. We ran across a large intersection of the tunnels containing a couple portals. Glenn decided to try and kill one of them stealthily and quickly learned that thunder and lightning damage are different and sensed a cavernous explosion through tunnels, which is not quiet. That drew more gnolls. So after a fight with a few regular-sized gnolls and one magically enlarged gnoll, we emerged victorious. We killed it. We did great. We discovered a passageway full of seemingly mind-controlled workers among these weird crystal-like glowing purple mushrooms that emitted necrotic energy. We moved our way over to Doc's containment chamber. All the captives seemed to be under some sort of mind control as the others, aside from one, a little halfling farmer named Tarden, who more or less useless. We decided to take up hiding spaces in the room and wait for Doc to come to us. So we're kind of setting a trap right now, and a short while later, a giant golem made of metal and sewn together flesh entered the room, followed by the shambling form of an ancient, decrepit white dragonborn known as Doc, who is the second of three brothers. And that's where we left off.
Thank you, BK. And with that, we can begin episode 25, The Brothers. We're going to pick up with the Almost Heroes are hiding in this room full of cages and prisoners, and they're just wonderful, super, super helpful friend Tarden. As Doc has entered the room, followed by his nasty, fleshy boy, and they just kind of walked into the room. This figure is like 8 feet tall and just kind of like this mecha Frankenstein-esque sewn together figure that is just kind of walking, and then very kind of small and kind of hunched over behind them is the yellowed, withered form of this probably once pretty proud white dragonborn that's carrying a staff and is robed in these kind of like faded robes that have the symbol of Torog on the front of it. And so what do you all do?
Quick question. We were all hidden minus Rangrim, correct?
Yes. So Rangrim, you had used thaumaturgy to make your eyes look black like the mind-controlled version of yourself. And you were just kind of standing out in the room, if I remember.
Mm-hmm. Glenn's very much staying hidden.
Cosmo's in a cage. He's not necessarily hidden. That's it.
Yeah, and Glenn, you're kind of just hidden around the corner in this kind of like pile of rocks, if I remember right. Cosmo's in this cage with this, what looks like a corpse, kind of, like a really dried up old husk of a corpse. Udak is hiding, just closed himself in one of the cages, but has the key to the cage that he's in. And and there are two other figures in the room that are in their cages that are just like straight dead-faced, like black eyes, and just standing in their cages, one of which had been let go and kind of just started walking, didn't attack anyone, but then was locked back away, a half-elf, I believe, named Weston, or something like that. That was the halfling's companion.
You couldn't find it last time, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I don't think I couldn't figure it out. And then Tarden had locked himself back away in this other cage and covered himself with like an old sleeping mat of some sort. But yeah, so Rangrim, as this nasty boy and Doc kind of start walking into the room, the form of the flesh golem kind of stops and just stands there, and Doc kind of steps to the side and looks around it and is looking directly at you, kind of puzzled, and is not moving forward anymore.
Cosmo says, "Hey, you stupid!"
Rangram just turns and just looks at Cosmo, but that's it. And he's giving him like a wicked stink eye, as best as he can without raising attention.
What are you doing in here?
Rangram just turns and looks at Doc, just blank-faced.
You need to get back to work.
And Rangram just putzes off over to the cage where this like corpse is in.
Okay.
Just sort of past Glenn and over here, and is like, I'm like futzing with the lock of this cage.
Okay, I think that's the one that Cosmo is in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Cosmo isn't the one with the corpse. Yeah, so I'm just like,
it's tacked open, just barely. It's the door is closed, but it's not locked.
So yeah, it's
Okay.
pretend locked. You're doing you're pulling the Chewbacca fake not locked manacles trick.
yep. Mm-hmm. Whole time.
Okay.
One point of order. Poe is watching more down the hallway in case they see anything, and if they do see anything, they will cry like a baby as the signal.
Okay.
Specifically, like a human baby.
Okay. So they're just kind of looking down the hallway.
Yeah, seeing if anybody else coming along.
Okay.
Lynn is going to wait to see where Nasty Boy and Doc go.
I guess you mindless dwarf are here now for my time. And I'm talking at Rain.
Rangrim's like really like he's facing Cosmo and he's trying so hard right now to not say anything. Like pursing his lips, like almost grunting under his breath, and turns and starts futzing with the cage that Udek's in.
Okay. Doc steps around the side of the flesh golem, looking at this dwarf that's yelling at him, and just kind of like his lip curls into this kind of like draconic smile, and it's as it does, like you can see that there are just like teeth are just like missing, and it's just kind of like a cracking noise almost as he kind of does this. It's like a very dry sounding, just kind of weirdly creepy noise. And he just goes, "It seems like we have a volunteer." And then he just points his staff, and the flesh golem starts walking over to Cosmo's cage.
Right, well, that smile there, that's a face only a mother can love.
Silence him. So this thing is walking up to your cage.
Tell me a little bit more about this flesh golem. Like, how tall is it?
8 feet tall, pretty broad. It looks like its arms are sewn together. Like its muscles don't make sense. It's not like these are one person's arms. It looks like multiple arms have been sewed together, and like there's like muscles and biceps in places that probably shouldn't be. Their arms are probably twice as thick as something as normal. Like think more like ogre-esque in stature. And then also like it's combined with like this metal plates coverings, almost similar to like Willy, but way more extreme.
Okay. And then how tall is this door, like that I'm in?
So it's gonna go all the way to the ceiling. I'll say that this chamber probably is. I'll say that the door is 10 feet. To the ceiling, it's 15 feet.
Okay. All right. So the door is 10 feet tall. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. So, all right. Proceed.
So the Doc points his staff at the door, and with just like you see like a flash of a spell, and the door just shoots open, and the flesh golem is going to roll a grapple check to grab you.
Let's see. Okay. So I get to roll against it, right?
Strength check, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got an 18.
Okay.
It's just gonna be your straight strength modifier plus your roll.
Yeah. I actually am going to. It's going to be a strength modifier or athletics?
Just strength modifier.
Strength modifier. So I got a dirty 20.
Okay. So he goes to grab you, and you're able to kind of like, how are you stopping yourself from being grabbed by this thing?
So as he comes in to like grapple me, I kind of see it where maybe I grab my arm or grab his arm, and I'm gonna slip underneath him and around him, and try and reverse it. And I'm just gonna say, "Now, Rangrim, do it!" And
roll.
And Rangrim is going to run directly at the nasty boy in the back, like full sprint, and try and shove him into the cage in unison with Cosmo's motion there.
Okay, so what I need is I need an athletics check from Rangrim. I need acrobatics check from Cosmo.
Acrobatics.
Advantage for either of those?
I'll say that Rangram gets advantage on his athletics check for sure.
18 on my athletics check.
During all
Shot
this,
with
Glenn is
advantage.
filing his nails with Mage Hand.
Avi, it also could be a dexterity saving throw. The reason I'm having you do it is because it's to get out of the way of this, basically get underneath it and around it.
Got it. Okay. So it is a... That would be
Your aura.
15 to do that.
Okay, I'll say that you're gonna get clipped a little bit as Ranger. What was your check? Your roll?
It was an 18 on my athletics.
18. Awesome. So Cosmo, you slide underneath this thing, and as you're trying to pull its arm, you're just realizing you're like trying to bend a tree trunk. This thing is like inhumanly strong, and so you're like able to get out from underneath it, but like you are kind of in the way. And as this thing gets smashed through the door by Rangram using like your shield, I assume, to just kind of barrel him through, you kind of get smashed between this thing and the door, and like you're gonna take a little bit of damage here.
Okay.
Where's my little pyramid? That's just 1 damage. So you get kind of pinched between the door and this thing as it gets pushed in and kind of like falls into the room and then starts getting up. And I'm gonna move y'all.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you're there, he's here, and so he kind of falls and stumbles into the room and starts turning back to come back out the door. What do you do?
At that point, Glenn dives into action and locks the door.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand.
Tight. A lot. Hold on. Above 20. Or sleight of hand. Plus 11. 21.
Awesome. I also need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Also a lot.
You get my aura as well if you need it.
Yes, I do. Is that rolling a d4 or is that a plus 4?
It's rolling a d4.
Okay, so 24 plus 4, 28.
Okay. You, as you're running over to the door, you notice that this cage next to you.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no, I forgot about those.
One of these cages opens up right next to you, and it is just like a row of teeth, and it's basically just kind of like snaps at you as you're going by it.
So as it launches at me, and I'm guessing with 28, I avoid it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, God, everything is just trying to, what the, and I like kind of kick it off and take a step to the side.
So you're able to sidestep this cage that's kind of, and like legs spread on the side of it. It just kind of like does that screech at you again, and it kind of is just moving back and forth. And this whole cage rattles as this flesh golem slams into the cage as you're able to lock it, and now it's reaching through. Glenn, I need you to actually make me another dexterity saving throw to not get grabbed by this boy.
That wasn't good. I got a natural 9, which my plus 8 to dex is going to be a 17 plus a d4, which is another 4, so 21.
Yeah, I mean, that's still very good.
You are able I really like the aura of protection. That is nice.
You're able to jump back 5 feet and get out of the way of this hand that comes shooting through the bars and is just like literally like right at your throat, closes right in front of it, and is just trying to grab you. And like you're just getting this like smell of decay and like disgusting noises. It's just like this flesh and this metal are like clanging against the bars of this cage, and the cage is absolutely rattling. Like it is not doing. It's, it is being pushed to its structural integrity limits by this creature. What do you all do?
So as it reaches out and Glenn kind of takes like a jump back, it's like, hey, come on, man, just relax, chill, relax. So I got a joke for you. Who gives the best hickeys? Necromancers. And I cast Tasha City's Laugher on him.
On who?
The golem.
Okay.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it has enough intelligence.
Necromancers. That's just
it's very good.
Well, just amazing.
So what does it need to make?
Wisdom
saving throw. So it has.
Everybody pray.
It's only going to be a 9.
Pray.
That's only a 9.
Whatever this thing does for laughing, it starts to do, and it goes prone.
So yeah, it starts making this kind of like just sickly kind of it's almost like it doesn't have vocal cords, and so it's like this noise. It's almost like just like exhaling, and it is gnarly, not fun to listen to, but it does fall down on the ground. It is making this like weird hacking laughter. And with that, Doc is going to begin to back out of the room and is going to point his staff down the hallway and just say, I need your assistance. And you see something shoot out of his wand and go flying around the corner. And then you hear another just loud, like kind of growl, wheeze come from down the hallway, and the sound of footsteps.
Cosmo turns around and just says, "What? Did you call your mummy?"
They are going to. Actually, you know what? At this point, I think we need to roll into initiative. I think. So let's get those dice rolling.
Also, once the thing that's coming down the hallway comes into view, don't forget about Poe.
Yes, 100%. I will. I will say that Poe likely at this point can see a pretty big form that is probably about twice the size of the other one in width, same height, but something very large and wide is coming down the hallway.
I got a 24. Poe got a 19.
24 for Glenn.
What side of dice do you use? Mine are 20.
Yeah.
Well, initiative, you get a bonus based off your dexterity, and shockingly, my rogue is pretty dexterous.
You're not.
What did Poe get?
17 plus 19.
Okay.
Cosmo
He's
got
gonna go
a 10.
Okay. What'd you get, Rangram?
That would be an 8.
There's a Rangram roll. There's a Rangram initiative.
There it is.
Dead last in initiative, as always. Remember, kids, don't make Dex your dump stat.
So at the top of the order, we have the golem in the cage. So I'm going to say that he's already kind of taken his turn. I'm going to give him a strength check to see if he can damage the cage.
Is he still prone?
He should be prone.
Yeah, he's prone. I'm just going to, I'll say that his turn is toast at this point.
He has to try to save, though.
So that was a nat 20, actually, to save. So that's saving against the laughter?
Yeah, so now he's back.
Okay.
But he was prone, so half his movement speed.
Right, so he's going to stand up and just start pushing against the cage. Let's see. It's a 17 plus strength. 19. I'm going to say that, so they are able to overcome this kind of like hacking, dry laughter and get up off the ground, standing to their full 8 feet, and then just grab both of their mismatched arms and hands around this cage and just start like shaking it. And you can see that the metal is starting to like Rangram, you can see that like the way that this thing is structured and the way that the like the pins holding like the hinges on, like you can see them just kind of starting to tweak, and the metal is starting to bend as they continue to shake it. You don't think that it will last too long with this kind of abuse. And that's going to bring us to Glenn's turn.
Well, that was a waste of Atasha City's laughter, but Glenn's going to rotate around the cage here. And he's going to, once he gets around the table, he's going to kind of look over to the guy rattling the cage, big. Hey, what did the druid say to the dryad? You're a naughty girl. And cast Tasha City's laughter again.
Awesome.
Let's go.
That is a 5.
Prone again.
Okay, is that the same one?
Same.
So you did to the Nasty Boy again?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Nasty Boy is again prone. So they sit back down and kind of like start doing that hacking laugh again. They're still holding onto the cage, but they've just kind of fallen down and their legs are kind of like sticking out at this point. It's very strange.
And then I take my bonus action to hide.
Okay.
Which?
Oh, I need to roll for the mimic.
Holy crap. A lot. Like a bunch. 25.
Okay. Yeah, I think that. How are you hiding? Are you just like hiding back behind this table?
Yeah, I'd be like kind of crouching. Yeah, I'd be kind of crouching, positioning myself. Maybe I guess this would make no. Yeah, I'd be behind this table, and I would just kind of duck down after I said my joke.
Awesome. Sweet. That is going to bring us to Doc, who is going to still backing up, kind of putting himself farther away, distancing himself from you all.
Would Poe be before him?
No.
Oh, wow.
Doc rolled a 19 plus. So Doc's kind of backing himself out of the room, but is going to just begin to cast, and you see this kind of like shield, this shimmering shield go up and around them. That kind of like it's almost like it flashes for a second, and it seems like there's kind of almost like a vapor around them, covering them. And
covering who?
Doc.
Oh, okay.
They cast something on themselves.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. With that, he's just going to. That's actually going to be their whole turn, and they're just going to continue trying to just back out of the room and wait for backup reinforcements. It's actually Poe's turn
now. Poe is going to hold its action for Glenn's next strike. Poe's just kind of gonna wait and basically, just take the help action, swoop in on Doc when Poe makes his next attack.
When Glenn does?
Or sorry, when Glenn does, yeah.
Awesome. That's gonna bring us to Udak. Udak, who is just kind of like sitting in this cage, waiting for his time to shine, is going to just be like, kind of, you can see that kind of like anger that flared up when he pulled off his blade and threw it before, like seeing Doc now in this moment, like you can just see like the straight like orc anger is just completely on his face again. And they kick the cage open and just start like basically full sprinting. I'm going to give him an acrobatics check, see if they can get over this table. Fucking natural 20 for Udak to fucking
Udak.
like vault this table and try to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're not able to. No, fuck it. He can get all the way to Doc, but they're not going to have an attack. But they're going to use their full movement to get up to him, and then is just going to like absolutely just spit at Doc, and very much wants to attack him, but can't get within range. So that's going to bring us to Cosmo.
Cool. Cosmo seeing Doc kind of start to turn the corner is going to take his full movement to like run up around the corner to see him. And so 5. And then does he see this big messy thing that is now in my vision?
Yeah,
sloppy
you see
boy?
this. Yeah, you see this. Unlike the other flesh golem, which was a lot more muscular, this one seems like it is made out of a lot looser, kind of like just a lot of extra flesh on this one. And it just kind of is. It's much wider, and it just seems like the arms themselves are probably like tree trunk-esque and just like lots of loose hanging skin all sewn together as this thing kind of shambles down the hallway, letting out this like kind of disgusting dry moan as it's kind of making its way down the hallway to help its creator.
Right. So Cosmo will just say to Doctor's like, well, I see why you surround yourself with ugly things to make yourself feel better, but I think there's enough ugly in this room already. And he's gonna cast turn undead or abjure enemy on this sloppy boy. And
what is abjure enemy?
It's a paladin. It's my channel divinity.
Okay.
He has to make a wisdom saving throw. Is he considered a fiend or an undead, I presume?
It is an undead, yes.
Then he has disadvantage on that saving throw.
Well, that's already not good. How's a 9 plus... what is it? It's a Constitution?
Wisdom.
Wisdom saving throw. Yeah, that's an 11.
So he fails. Okay. So the creature, he's frightened now. His speed is reduced to 0 for 1 minute.
Damn. Okay, so it's frightened, so it can't move closer to you.
Correct.
It's stuck here, and you said its speed is halved?
Its speed is 0.
Speed is 0. Okay, so it's just stuck. It's just hanging out in the hallway. This thing, like,
What?
it can't move for
a whole minute.
A whole minute. So, I mean,
10 rounds of combat.
Oh my god. We should use that spell more often.
That is insane.
That is bonkers.
Yeah, that's absolutely nuts. Okay. Oh wait, hold on. It's immune to being frightened.
well, it still says. I mean, it can withhold. I mean, the creature can be.
So
immune
it's
to
not frightened, but
frightened.
it can't move for a
but it-
minute still.
Yeah, it can't move for a minute.
Okay, that's fair. That's a good compromise. Awesome. Yeah, he's stuck there for a minute then. But it's just kind of like this shambling mess of flesh just kind of stops dead, and kind of it's still kind of like moving almost like a waterbed, which is really probably disturbing. And it just kind of sits there and is just kind of glaring at you. And it doesn't show much emotion, but it is just sitting there kind of waving back and forth at this point. And Doc, whom was waiting for that thing to give him backup, is now feeling less and less secure about his whole predicament.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's going to bring us to Rangrim.
Nice. Rangrim is going to take half his movement and move to about the front of this table here. And he's going to be like, "Hey, you scaly weirdo. What Cosmo said you're ugly." And he points at him, and he's going to cast Guiding Bolt with a 2nd level spell slot.
Holy shit. Nice.
So that's a spell attack I have to make. I always forget that. How do you feel about a 22?
I think, you know what? I feel like that's going to do it.
Sick. All right. Let's see here. Oh, I don't have enough D6.
Oh no.
You can bump it up to a D8 if you want.
Just multiply by 2.
Seems fair.
Nice. 24 for my Guiding Bolt.
Yes, that absolutely does it. 24
And,
damage.
24 damage. That's correct. It was 5d6.
You see this kind of like shining shield around them flash, but it seems to get through it, and then of course they are lit up like the 4th of July because of Guiding Bolt. So they take 24 straight damage, which is not good for a caster to take.
Yep. The next attack roll against him before the end of my next turn has advantage.
Okay. Damn. Okay. Awesome. That is terrible for Doc. That's going to bring us
having a bad time.
Glenn, your mimic friend is looking for you.
It's got to be a 26.
Yeah, he did not beat a 26. So you see this thing kind of go creeping around, and it's just kind of like ting 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 is looking around, and then can't
That's
find
creepy
you,
as hell.
and it just goes right after Rangrim and is going to make an attack on you. Just a little bit of a little bite action.
Like to see him try.
He's gonna try. That's not good. That's a 6.
Mm-mm.
No, sir.
He is a dwarf,
so it goes,
but still coming up a little short there.
it goes to bite down on you and just kind of like clinks onto the end of your shield. You just kind of look down and you're like, fuck is this?
It's just gnawing on the side.
Yeah, and this thing's not very big either. Like the cage itself is probably only like 2 feet by 2 feet, and so this thing is not a very large, but it has its little like spider legs. So now it's gnawing on your shield, Rangrim.
We need to make this thing our pet. We need to befriend this thing.
Right?
I mean, if you just talk to it. All right. So this is Sloppy Boy's turn. Sloppy Boy is gonna try to do nothing because it can't move. It doesn't have any ranged attacks, but it does have something cool. I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw, Cosmo.
Cool. 16.
Yes, that does save. This thing's eyes is staring at you, and it's just kind of like boring into you because it can't do anything, and you feel like this kind of like sickly kind of in the pit of your stomach from this creature as you see its eyes kind of flash, and but you're able to fight it off. But something it was trying to do something to you that you were able to basically.
Cosmo like throws up a little bit in his mouth. He's like, that Sloppy Boy is gross. I can't even look at it.
Yeah, no. So he can't do anything else. He's just sitting there, just like I said, looking like a big. He looks like that bag of human fat that they pulled out of the garbage in Fight Club. Kind of looks like that. It's really gross.
So he's a bomb.
Well, yeah, nitro. You know, he might become nitroglycerin. Who knows? Or soap. Anyway, we could. Anyone else want to talk about Fight Club now? Kidding.
We don't talk about it.
Yeah. All right. Nasty boy. He's gonna try to save against Tasha City's laughter again. That's a 3. Does not do it this time. That hacking, no vocal cord laugh is still happening from this kind of darkened cell as it's kind of holding onto the cage bars, and that's gonna bring us to Glenn.
Thank God. Okay, so Glenn is going to. How does this work? Yeah, Glenn's gonna. No, from this position. So we have advantage, right? Because of guiding bolt.
Yep, the next attack against Doc has advantage.
Okay, so I have advantage from that, but also Poe's going to be taking the help action, so I'd have advantage from that. So either way, I'm getting advantage. So I'm going to take a shot with my ring of volley. So just like big white arrow just springs from a bow.
Dope.
And oh, goodness gracious, that was the worst rolls ever.
All 3 of them?
Well, advantage is 1 roll, right? I don't think we played double advantage. Oh my God, it's terrible. So 12 to hit.
Shit.
12 to hit.
Yeah. It does not.
He's a spellcaster. He might have squishy AC.
Hold on one second.
That's
I think he
low.
Does. I think he does. But here, a question: how much does Mage Armor give?
I think it's a +5.
I think
+5?
Mage Armor. I think makes it a base 15.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would miss then.
Okay. So you just take a shot right over Udak's shoulder and just kind of splashes off of him.
It's +3 AC is what Radar is saying.
It still would miss.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's 13 plus the Dex modifier, so it would miss.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess it just shoots right over her shoulder then maybe. And Glenn just kind of like embarrassed, kind of puts his bow down, like pretends like no one really saw it. They're like, "Oh, what the hell was that?" Arcing
it's crazy.
Something, and then he's gonna move 15 feet this way and bonus action hide again for.
See if your mimic friend can find you this time.
This is much higher than my last roll.
Oh God.
No, 20. It was a 12 plus 11, so 23.
Okay.
So I meant much higher than my attack roll.
Okay. Yeah. So you hide again behind this table full of cages. Snick a snack. Doc, who is getting terrified now at this point, is being accosted by Udax directly in his face. Is going to just kind of continue, like not back up anymore, afraid that Udax is going to attack them if they do, and is going to just take this giant inhale and is going to breathe out directly into Udak's face. And I need Udak, Cosmo, Rangrim, and the Mimic to all make dexterity saving throws.
Rangrim, you're in range.
I am in range to get +4 for that. Or a D4 rather.
Mm-hmm. Cosmos is an 18.
18. Okay, so you save.
13.
13 does not save.
Don't make your dexterity your dump stat, kids.
Wait, was that with Aura of Protection?
Yeah.
Dang.
And I rolled a 4 on the D4 too.
All right, so Bobby, you take 18 damage, and Rangrim.
18 damage.
Yes.
Oh, I don't like that. He saved. I don't like that at all.
Rangrim, you take 36 damage.
Ugh.
This breath. Actually, I need to make a save for Udak as well. Fuck, Udak does not save, and the Mimic does not save. So Udak and the Mimic also take 36 damage. This breath that blasts forth from Doc it's this spiraling black and cold, freezing breath that is like this. It just looks like this black vortex, but also it's just like freezes you in place as it hits you. And it's like this mix of necrotic and ice like breath that is, it's unlike anything you ever encountered. And it just like blasts you in the back, Rangram, and I guess you are facing towards it. Blasts you in the face, just like this spiral vortex of this like dark, freezing energy that is going to absolutely murder the Mimic. The Mimic just freezes solid and is just like completely stuck to the end of Rangram's shield with its mouth still like on it and is frozen solid. Rangram, how are you looking?
That was gonna be Poe's best friend. He's gonna ride that into battle.
On a scale of 1 to 63, Rangram feels like an 18. And apparently a popsicle.
Udak is very, very, very much bloodied. So Udak is like partially like basically just, they're popsicle-esque, just kind of like frozen, and like there's just like icicles hanging off of them, and they're just kind of like you can see that their armor that they're wearing is kind of like hardened and is like freezer burnt in places. And Cosmo, you're able to kind of get your shield up in time to block the most of this, but you also take some of this freezing damage. And it is going to slow. You guys have half movement. Anyway, that was Doc's turn. So that's going to bring us to Poe.
After watching watching Glenn very embarrassingly miss his shot, Poe kind of like shoots him a dirty Raven look and swoops high again, and then gets ready, I guess, because he would have swooped. I'll move him over here. He gets ready for the next help action again when Glenn makes his next attack. He's going to constantly be like dive bombing and trying to like distract Doc as Glenn makes his attacks.
Awesome. That's going to bring us to Udak, who is going to kind of like, as they move, you can almost see the ice falling off of them. And they're just like kind of crunching their way up and fighting through this, even though they're very, very injured, and is going to, you think that's going to stop me? And is going to throw a couple hits at him with his built-in swords.
Get him, Udak.
Dude. He rolled a nat 1 and a 3.
Oh my god.
He's trying to move, and he just like he can't because of this like the ice is just like his muscles just can't move at the speed. And he's like trying to move to hit him, and it just like isn't enough to actually get any kind of power behind these hits, and he's not able to make it through that mage armor. It's just kind of like deflects off of it, and you could just see the frustration in Udak's eyes, and he just like lets out this like very like almost like feral-esque like roar. But that is going to be all that Udak is going to be able to do for this turn. Cosmo, it is you.
Right. Dodging that ice wave, he is just going to be this like, finally, it's my turn. And he's going to run up on Doc, and he's going to give him the old 1-2 with
the old what for?
The old 1-2 with his war pick here. With an attack. Ooh, nat 20.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Let's see. So an 18 on the second to hit is what it's going to be.
I mean, yeah, both those hit.
Okay. And all right. So let's see. So Cosmo is going to just like, he is going to just give him one good swing to the chest, and then on the turnaround, he's going to use his Divine Smite on crit. He's just going to end this garbage. It's going to be 10 damage for the first attack. Is he undead or fiend?
Yes, he is undead.
Oh, dude, he's so dead. Let's see.
No, he said he's undead, not so dead.
Well, he's about to be re-dead.
Doesn't it give you extra?
It's another D8.
Oh my god, dude.
So that's going to be 22, so 44 damage. So he takes 54 damage.
Okay, so Bobby, you get this attack off on them, and as you basically hit them with this spell, they also like reach out their wand to you and hit you with this thing as you're coming down with your and basically delivering your blow, which I will let you describe. But they are going to. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, dexterity saving throw. Got it. So that's gonna be 20.
Yeah, that's gonna make it. So you're only
not a nat 20, I will say, but
no worries. Yeah, so it's gonna only do 3 damage to you then, as this like basically ice energy hits you out of the end of their staff. But how do they die?
I would say that Cosmo. I will say that Cosmo. He like swings. It's like a divine smite, like shock straight to the chest.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. That's the best I got. I don't know what. It's Doc, so.
Yeah, so you hit him in the chest with this thing, and as you hit him, it gives in, like, so you hit them with your hammer, and this like that lightning energy kind of comes off of it again, and you hit them, and you hit the mage armor, and it like for a second it kind of holds, and you see it just shatter, and when it shatters, you hit them in the chest, and their chest caves in as if they are just like an empty husk. Like it basically just caves into them so easy, way easier than you would have thought. And it's not like a wet like body, like a solid thump. It makes like a crunching noise as their like dry dragonborn husk of scales and like bones underneath just kind of give in, and it is just like dry and empty inside of this thing. And as you hit it, it kind of like they kind of crumble and fall apart inside of this robe, and like they just fall to the floor in pieces, and dry pieces that kind of like almost dustifies. Not all the way to dust, there's still like bones and stuff in there, but like it kind of partially disintegrates as it dies. And as that happens, you guys both see that the aggression and any of the like awareness that these flesh golems have, they're still awake. They're not, but they are not. They don't seem like they're fighting anymore. They're not trying to get to you. They literally just look like they are void. They just kind of stop moving at all. The one that was laughing, it does not laugh anymore. It seems like that even it broke Tasha's face laughter, but it just is sitting there. And the one that was like kind of struggling to move forward because of your spell has just stopped moving and is just staring there, like standing there, almost similar to the creatures in the cages. However, the creatures in the cages, as soon as Doc dies, they start throwing themselves. So the Boulder Fist guard who was just standing there before, and then I think Winsworth, the friend of the halfling that was just kind of standing there blankly before, starts kind of throwing themselves in the cages, and is like they are acting so aggressively, trying everything they can to get out of their cages at you. And Tardan is like, "Hey, this doesn't seem right."
Tardan, what did you do?
I don't know. I mean, I looked at it, but I don't think that was it. This is.
They're like banging their heads against and trying to get through it. Or they're like trying to like bang their heads and like do damage to themselves.
They're literally no. They seem they're like reaching through the cages. They're seemingly trying to do everything they can to get to you.
But the flesh golems are not.
And
the flesh golems are not.
Glenn, like as he's closing the distance to Cosmo and Udak, he's going to do a few things. He's going to, one, signal to Poe and say, "Poe, keep an eye out," and send Poe across the hallway to here to keep a watch this way. He's also going to hand Udak one of his healing potions, and then he's going to just say to Cosmo, maybe he's got something on him. There's got to be a charm. There's got to be a way to calm these guys. They're freaking out. We need to get them to shut the hell up. And he just starts rifling through Doc's shit.
The staff did something. He kept using them to control him.
If I look at the staff, is it like glowing? Does it seem like it's like emanating power?
Roll me an investigation or an arcana.
Is that anything like Arcana? Oh wow, natural 19. I'm gonna go with the investigation, which makes it a dirty 25.
Okay. So you definitely get feelings of like some sort of radiant energy off of this staff. You don't know whether or not it's like causing them to freak out. You don't know whether that is actually like correlation or causation, but there definitely is magic and power in the staff. And the staff itself is, when you're looking at it, there are runes carved all the way up it that are the symbols of Torog. Like this is probably a holy symbol of some sort, and a casting used for casting. It's like a quarterstaff.
Okay, so I'm sorry, Turog was the god of taking punishment. Is that the one that?
Nope.
Okay, which
one? The god of slavers, right?
That's what it was.
Slavers and torturers, yes.
Which was the god of? Oh yeah, you're right. That's
the crawling king.
Yeah. Right. Do I see with that investigation and kind of like rifling through his shit? Do I see anything else that looks trigger worthy? Anything that's like, we previously found a whistle, so like now I'm looking for like magical triggers that like would be affecting this behavior.
Yes. So I'll say with your investigation check that you did, you kind of like you're rifling through and you're starting to feel this like the dust that this person kind of turned into, like there was like almost like it was filling their insides. There's like a pile of it on the ground that's kind of coalesced on top of their it's like this shimmering dust that's kind of collated on top of their robes. If you want to roll me did you roll an Arcana check or an investigation?
I did investigation on the last one.
Roll me an Arcana check.
Okay. Not as good. That's a 12.
Okay. You feel like this dust has some sort of magical potency to it.
Okay. Boys, I don't know if we necessarily have a means of stopping that aggression over there, but the staff is definitely giving off some slaver energy and reminds me a lot of that Torag that we were reading about earlier, but this powder here seems to be affecting the group in some weird way as well. I don't know if Doc necessarily wanted to even be involved in a lot of this. What do you guys think we should do?
Well, first, I think I need to do something about this, and I'm like holding my shield with like the frozen mimic on it, and like picking like icicles off my eyelashes.
Well, what if we break it?
Break the staff?
Well, none of us clearly have the intelligence to use it.
I mean, I've never had a big hammer. You seem to have the thing that might break this thing, so go for it. I'm just going to take a few dozen steps back, and I very masculine way retreat. I hide. I'm over here. Go ahead, Cosmo. You got this. And I like duck behind a table.
Cosmo takes the staff in his hand and does his own Arcana check on it. That's not any better. 5.
Yeah, it's a piece of wood.
Right. Yeah, it's a 5. And he's just like, well, here goes nothing, and he just like breaks it over his knee.
Well, it's a magical item, so you could try. Roll an attack on it for sure.
Sure.
By the way, DM, I think it goes without saying as the rogue that I take the bag of dust.
Okay. I'll say they're able to kind of like using their robes, you're able to pour like into a little flask or some sort of other vessel.
I have all those little vials.
Cool. I'll say that, yeah, you're able to fill up a pretty large vial with enough of that dust that has this like really shimmering quality to it, but also everything that like touches feels automatically dry. It's very strange.
Weird.
I rolled a 19.
Okay. So, yes. I'll say that you are able to, you're not able to smash, you try to smash the thing over your knee, and it like, you immediately realize that this thing is like reinforced by magic. And so like you hit it against your knee and you're probably able to like suffer through it and not like yell out because you basically just smashed this unbreakable object into your leg.
Does it crack?
It doesn't crack, but you set it down on the ground and you kind of prop it against one of the cages. So it's at like a 45-degree angle and you smash down on it with your hammer, and your hammer, there's a reaction between the hammer and this thing. Like the second that you hit it, it's almost like oil and water mixing. There's something inherently about the hammer that like the energy inside of that staff, like the second that it hits it, like this lightning energy concentrates and just like hits it. And almost like when you see like when people would do the lightning into a piece of wood where it kind of like spreads out and burns it, that's what happens to this staff. And as it hits it, it kind of like you see all the Torog symbols and all of like the magical runes on it. It like almost eats into them with this lightning that's burning into the wood, and like it basically you see like a flash of magic and like almost like a sputtering, and the whether or not you knew it before or could tell before, there was like an inherent light or actually an inherent darkness that was on this piece of wood, this quarterstaff that seems to no longer be there. And now you just have basically a smoking quarterstaff that is covered in these like burn marks and kind of like slightly pulsating with this kind of like heat still. But whatever energy that seemed to be in it before no longer is there after hitting with your hammer.
Do the people with the black eyes do anything?
No, but you turn around and see something. You start hearing this like sickly, wet noise of a bunch of things falling to the floor, and you see probably one of the most disturbing things you've ever seen, which is Sloppy Boy basically disintegrating. Whatever magic was holding them together was keeping their parts together. They basically just kind of like fall to the ground. It's literally like a bag of flesh falls to the ground and just like they completely fall apart, just leaving this like wet pile that looks like Muck the Pokemon on the ground. And the flesh golem that's in the cage, the Nasty Boy, basically seems to come apart at the seams, all the places that the pieces were sewn together, and just literally falls apart into like muscle and bone and flesh and metal inside of this cage. And it's now just there's two piles of flesh and grossness that one of them is in the middle of the hallway, and one of them is inside one of the cages.
Are Udak's hands still totally knives? Does anything weird happen to Udak?
Nothing weird happened to Udak except for the fact that he is still pretty hurt. I know that you had healed him.
Give me a healing potion.
Okay, what is that? A D4? Something like that?
I think so. It's a D4 plus Constitution.
Oh, good. It's 4 plus 2, so that's a 6. Good for Udak.
Cosmo, good job on turning the mound of flesh into a mound of skin. We might want to take that staff with us when we go, though. I don't think we need that falling into anybody else's hands.
Well, right, and seeing the Sloppy Boy just like break open like a dirty waterbed on the floor.
Oh God!
He's just.
Oh, the smell has got to be heinous. Like it literally just released everything that was nasty inside of it. So it's 10 times worse now.
Terrific. Well, I rolled a Constitution saving throw, and it's a 17 plus whatever. So I just felt like that would be fun.
You don't puke. Well, boys, I think we need to figure out our next steps very carefully.
But well, this staff is not what makes them all like black-eyed and yucky. But
well, I remember we have a couple other black-eyed friends down the hallway who might not be as locked up as these guys are. We might need to get the hell out of here before things get worse.
Right, we need to find a place to recoup.
We can lock ourselves inside, but I don't know what's necessarily going to happen there. What if we try to make our way out and recoup with Udak and his friends and see if we can't come back? I mean, we've taken care of 2 of the 3 brothers, and yeah, there might be a hardened resistance on the next one, but a little bit of time and preparation seemed to pay off this round. Maybe we can do it again.
Well, here's an idea. Why don't we just ask them to come help us then?
The slaves or Udak's friends?
That weird little goblin who was friends with Udak. All those other guys with all the knives in their heads and stuff. They seem like they'd be good in a fight.
I think that's a fantastic idea, but we need to get the hell out of here first. We need to go collect them.
Well,
Rangram, you look like you're in pain. Maybe you and Cosmo need to heal up a little bit.
I could use a nap, but before that, I'm going to cast Sending to send a message to Scraps.
Oh, rad. Yeah, what do you want to say?
Shit, fuck. We're real hurt. Bad. Send everyone to the mines and shit.
Were you counting the words?
Yeah, kind of, because it's supposed to be like a short message.
Yeah. You hear, I know it's technically not a short message, but I like it better as being like an actual phone call. So you hear the startled sound of Scrap. Ah! Yeah. I mean, we can come over there right away.
It will make it snappier than normal. Like, just hurry, because It smells horrible here. I want to go somewhere else.
Yeah, Dozer, let's go. And that's what you get.
Raygrim, who are you talking to?
I think that little goblin guy, Scraps of Skirts and Boozer. I lost a lot of blood, so I might have not been talking to anyone, but maybe we should go check by that the entrance to these mines here so that we can meet them, and maybe I could take a nap.
I think that's a good idea. I'll keep Poe behind us, kind of deeper in the mine, and we can make our way back. But I mean, if these guys, and kind of signals to like all the guys with black eyes, like banging their heads and trying to break out of the cells. If these guys are coming after us, I think those few that we saw earlier with all those mushrooms, they're going to be doing the same. So just be on the lookout.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I hope not, because this place might heat up a little quicker than we want. But with it, let's go.
Do you want to take a breather here, or do you want to go right away?
Well, Cosmo puts his hand on the wall. He says, "I just need a minute," and he puts his hand on his chest, and you see a light reflect off of him, and you see him gain strength back.
You guys can technically take a short rest too. It's only an hour if you want to try finding a place that's secure, or it's just taking a short rest here if you wanted to.
Ringram would be much like a short rest.
I think RP-wise, that's what we're trying to decide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean,
Feels good. I could fall over right here, so...
Yeah, if you guys
isn't that good for you, Cosmo?
If you guys want to sit back behind these tables over here, they've been hiding pretty well for me. And I'm gonna like flip one of the tables over, so it's like every gun shootout in every movie ever.
Glenn flips the table.
I'm gonna keep an eye on here. I'll look out. I'm doing okay. I got you guys covered for the next hour. Just take a rest and tend your wounds.
That would be great. But first, is there any like flasks or vials kicking around in this room anywhere?
Roll me an investigation check.
17.
17. Yes, I'll say that you find two that have two vials that are kind of tucked away in one of these cages, and it seems like they were health potions. They're a bit past their prime, and so I'm going to say that they're going to have half potency, but they're like brownish healing potions that are pretty old, similar to the ones that you pulled out of Luther's trunk.
All right, so super sick, like double whammy on what Rangram was trying to do right there. He's gonna quaff both of them, just like chug them, like probably tastes nasty, like old cough medicine. And I'm going over to the sloppy boy, and I'm filling up the vials with whatever liquid goop is remaining from his body,
God.
and then corking those, putting them in my belt. And I'm just laughing to myself, but it's going to be funny. Trust. And then Rangram would kind of nod off, like immediately fall asleep.
You got a sloppy boy grenade.
Yeah. 2, to be
Two
precise.
sloppy boy grenades. So gross. Awesome. Yeah, Cosmo, what are you doing?
Cosmo just goes over to this, whatever, ramshackled safe haven that Glenn is trying to provide for us, and just falls flat over, and it's just, oof. And he's just out. He has no interest in that smell.
Yeah, it's probably not that good, especially because you're inside the room with the other one that fell apart as well. Udak's gonna walk over to Glenn and just be like, I appreciate you keeping an eye out for us. I also gotta take a rest. I'm not gonna be able to do much more unless I do. You sure you're good?
As good as I'll ever be. I mean, make it a quick one. You got at most an hour. If things get bad, I'll try to hold everything off. But you guys are putting me in a hard spot. You know, this isn't how I like to do these things.
Awesome. Glenn, roll me a perception check.
Okay. And it's also for Poe?
Yes, but I'll say that you have advantage on it because of your earwigs. It's gonna be audio.
Okay. So I'll roll for Poe first. Oh, Poe got a nat 20.
Oh, cool.
Puts that at 23.
Is Poe staying where they're at, or are they moving?
They're where they're at, but they're like hidden. They're watching down that way. And then I got you said perception? A perception. 22 total.
Yes. So over the course of this hour, it kind of earlier into it, but you just hear the sound of just like running, kind of like running fast movement through the corridors. You don't ever see anyone running past your hallway, but you hear the sound of like things running back and forth and movement, and then you also hear like a gnollish growl, barking like orders and trying to like basically yelling and trying to like almost in a commanding kind of tone. You hear at least two different gnoll voices kind of talking amongst themselves. They would be talking in like a gnoll language. They're talking to each other in this broken abyssal, but they also seem like they're almost yelling at something else or other things trying to command them as well. And you, over the course of the hour, still hear all this movement, but don't ever see anything. But yeah, you are able to successfully keep an eye out for an hour, and Udak kind of wakes up and is just kind of gets up and just kind of pats himself off and kind of stretches, and Cosmo and Rangrim, you are waking up as well.
So while that hour was happening, obviously like stealthily and like paying attention, but Glenn's not just gonna like stand there.
Right.
He would be scanning like the whole room, staying away from the cages, like let's say like 15 feet from the cage in case someone tried to, or like 10 feet in case someone tried to like lunge and grab him. But he would be scanning the whole room for any type of notes, any type of correspondence, any type like this looks to be where Doc was like performing experiments. I would think so. Like I would think there'd be some kind of maybe transaction ledger.
So you don't find anything of that sort. You do find a lot of just like, you can tell that it seems like a lot of what spends time in here is gnolls. It seems like a lot of creatures move in and out of this room. You don't find any kind of like artificing tools, surgical tools, anything of that sort. It almost seems like this is more of a manufacturing facility for cages and for holding creatures.
This is where you drop
maybe to be taken somewhere else. But yeah, you don't find anything of that sort in here.
So from the conversation with Gerd and the way the map was drawn, do I get the inclination that this is the X that Gerd had drawn, or this is a different room as to like where Doc would be?
You would get the understanding that this is a different room, maybe further in.
Interesting. Okay. For an hour, I feel like there's one other thing I could check.
I was going to say, if you want to send Poe around to scout things out within the hour, unless you want him to sit there the entire time, that's totally up to you.
Honestly, I think Poe at the farthest would like. I don't know how far this tunnel goes, but he would be watching the opening of this cavern for sure.
Okay,
like
cool.
That.
You just want them stationary there.
Yeah, I want to know. I think they have a vision of like 60 feet. I want to see 60 feet that way, 60 feet that way the whole time. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I guess also if this is where they're dropping off the people or the slaves, do I find a cache, either a secret cache or like a present one, or an obvious one of the things that they've taken from the slaves? Because presumably their stuff's got to go somewhere.
You do not. It's like surprisingly like there's really not a lot here aside from like clothing and things of that sort. Like there's old clothing and just like it's just a very messy room, but there's not like a horde of magical items in here. You assume that, I mean, whether or not they're in a different room or whether or not the gnolls would take it with them and sell it themselves or keep them or whatever, like it seems like this thing is devoid of any valuables that you can find.
Do I see any like very well drawn out emergency exit signs that let you know where you are and where the nearest exit is?
Yeah, you actually in the corner you find this little staircase and it says "to the conservatory." So
to the bad guy, the big bad.
100%.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
I take that and win.
Cool. Awesome.
So after an hour, I just let that time pass.
You find the silver key that is missing from every water temple.
That's not funny. That's mean. No one ever finds that key.
Awesome. Rangrim, what are you doing?
Rangrim just be waking up at this moment, right? Because I just took a long rest. How far away was the elf camp from the mines?
It took you guys probably about I think an hour to travel there. Whenever you were taking like looking at it, and then when you weren't, like you guys went there kind of at night in the darkness, but it took you about an hour moving, and maybe a little bit less time when you were taking the cart.
All right. Well, I say we go see if maybe Scrapes and Boozer have showed up.
Yeah.
And
you think it check the entrance?
yeah, but and then if they don't, maybe we fuck off. Or
I agree. I think as deep into these caverns as we want to go, we need to be more prepared. Because I'll be honest, damage wise, I'm feeling okay, but that guy kicked your ass, and there's gonna be a lot worse probably as we go down. I mean, he was quite literally a shell of a dragonborn, so I don't know what's gonna happen as we go further. If Doc is the less scary of the brothers, I can't even imagine what Alton's gonna look like.
I agree. What do you think, Cosmo?
Cosmo, if you're silent, we'll just start leaving now. I would like to take this time to
Take Cosmo's gold.
Yeah, I would like to go through Cosmo's pockets and find that journal.
Oh my God! Can Cosmo wake up to me and Glenn reading his diary?
Oh my God, he's gonna freak out. Like, dear diary, yeah.
Glenn's so super mean.
Glenn, roll sleight of hand if you really want to.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, come on!
Not when he's not. Okay, fine, fine.
Because he's not here, it's even better.
Oh shit. Bobby, make a completely unsuspicious perception check.
With disadvantage because you're sleeping.
I'm taking a short rest.
Yeah, short rest is like bandaging your wounds or whatnot. I'm actually taking a nap.
Okay.
But
yeah.
Okay, so a perception check. What you need?
You guys are monsters.
Monsters? What happened? What?
We're gonna find out.
Oh no. Okay, well, 11.
So as Cosmo kind of like starts paying attention again to what's going on around him, just all bandaged and feeling healthier, you see Glenn with a mage hand and Cosmo's book that he always reads, just like floating in front of his face, and he's just like pantomiming, or he's just like pretending to read, and he's like, "Oh, on this day, Glenn's bird pooped in my eye," and just like mocking, pretend reading a diary of Cosmo's. And then he kind of like floats it over to Cosmo, and he like slaps the book against his chest, like, "You need to be more careful with these kind of things." I stole your book.
You woke up to us reading your diary.
Well, that's my dad's diary. You should.
That's crazy. You had a friend named Glenn?
We're not going to talk about that.
and Glenn looks at Rangram and goes, "I think I might have poked the bear on that one." And
well, I thought it was a riveting story. And Rangrim's like laying like on his stomach with his hands like this, like cradling his chin, just like kicking his feet.
If it makes you feel better, Cosmo, I can't even read Dwarven, so it just looked like a bunch of characters to me.
Well, you know, as your friend, I kind of feel a little went through my shit. That's not really
it's
cool.
Just a little. Keep it light. You know, we're in a dungeon. We might all die. Ranger might turn into a murderous monster. You know,
right?
Things playful.
Well, wouldn't it better time? Cosmo standing up and takes his book and puts it in his pouch, and he says, "Well, what better time than to go through your friend's stuff? Then I guess."
Yeah, you get it. So we're deciding whether or not we're gonna keep going, or we're gonna meet the guys. We're gonna meet Dozer and Scraps at the front door. What do you think, Cosmo?
Well, I guess we can go to the door and see if anybody's a knocking.
I think the rest of that group, when you guys were asleep, I heard some of our Knoll friends, and they seemed to be scurrying about. I couldn't actually get a bead right on where they were. DM, I couldn't tell if they're coming from I would assume the left because maybe Poe didn't see him.
Yeah, so you hear them coming from the left. They're kind of, it's like echoing down the hallway.
Okay. So yeah, back by that water source, more of our big hyena friends. I'm not sure if we want to maybe take the stealth route again or just push our way through. What do you guys want to do?
Well, I think we might want to be a little stealthier on this one because I don't get a lot more tricks up my sleeve until we get a proper sleep in.
All right, Udak, you ready? Cosmo, you ready to stealth our way through this one? Maybe you guys can like put on a burlap sack so you're not shiny gold and platinum.
I think you're wearing like I think they're still wearing like black fabric.
Oh yeah, we came in with
wrapped around them.
That's right. That's right.
That's what it is. That's what's wrapped around you in Breaking Branch's art.
Yep. It is actually.
That's super sick. It's so fucking cool.
I guess one
Nice.
thing for that hour I didn't think about, but what about just like looting the nasty boy in this cage? Would I have seen anything special in the entrails that unraveled, either weaponry or anything along the lines of that?
Yeah, roll me an investigation check.
Just to retcon real quick. Oh, terrible. That's what I get for not remembering. That's a 8.
8.
See a bunch of dead bodies.
Yeah, you don't really see anything, unfortunately. Okay. It's just, I think you get close enough, and like honestly, the smell is just so foul that like you just like. I think you walk over to the cage and you're like, no, I'm not even gonna open this up. Like, there's no fucking way. This half bent, half destroyed cage, like the lock itself is probably all fucked up. Like you're like, no, not worth it to get into this like meat mess.
Yeah, that's on brand.
Well,
okay, and
I got an idea. And Rangram makes his eye go black, and then he just holds up the several pairs of manacles that he's been holding on to, and he's like, "We could pretend it like I'm one of them, and I'm taking you outside for some reason."
It worked well the first time.
Smoke break or something.
I'm pretty sure they do that for slaves in the Evan Depths. Give them smoke breaks, but we can try it. Rangram, you're Mr. Charming, so you're in front.
I am kind of the charming one in the group.
I thought I was the charming one.
Whoa.
Yeah, but this is like underdark charm. Like this is like underground charm. You're surface charming.
Right.
There's not enough light to like beam off the beard, you know.
Right. Well, then on we go then.
So I think we would take what was the halfling's name? Tardan. So same, like we'd manacle all them up, but they're not locked. They're just like closed.
Okay, I'm gonna change. Hold on, let me give Tardan a name.
It was like his name was like Howell.
The other one, I believe his name is like Winston or something. I know Greg is the
guard.
Yeah, the guard.
Greg the guard. Friends with Gary.
Greg had an affair with Gary's wife. It's canon.
No. Oh, terrible. Greg, no. Greg, no. Okay, so yeah, Tardan's. So are we like leaving? What's going on?
Do you want to leave?
Do the halflings live in the Shire? Of course I do. Come on.
Well, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this, and I'm going to hand him one of the health potions.
Okay. This looks terrible. What is this?
Well, fine, and I'm going to take it back from him.
No, I mean...
Nope, not anymore. And then I'm just going to start walking away, like tugging on a chin, like, come on, slaves.
What is it? It's all over my hands.
It's a health potion.
It smells terrible. What is that, actually? Is that... Oh, God! He's really? Looking over at the pile of meat mess. Like, he's been hiding in this cage, couldn't see the pile of meat from the other one, and now he's seeing, like, this like, pile of sloppy goop in the hallway. He's just like... Oh, no! Oh, God!
If you think that's bad, you should hear what's in Cosmo's journal. Out now, come on.
For the marching order, Glenn would be towards the back, and Poe would be like 60 feet behind them, kind of like swooping, watching behind him, like as we move through these caverns.
Okay, just give me a marching order and kind of show me ping where you want to go in the hallway.
I'd say we'd probably be like here, with everybody like probably towing in line behind me. I know I would be first, probably with Glenn.
Glenn would be in the very back, holding up the back. I think I have the most range for the most part.
Maybe the halfling behind me.
In the middle. Yeah.
And Udak
would be right behind you, Rangram. Awesome. Okay. So as you're kind of walking further down this hallway, you're starting to hear just like there's like just running footsteps, like almost like back and forth, kind of further down, and you just still hear that knoll kind of like barking orders. And then you start hearing what sounds like heavy banging on something metal, just like far away down the hallway, like just like a distant echoing of like a doom, doom. And that's what you get. Are you going? So you're going to the left or to the right?
Left, back towards the entrance, right?
Yes, that was my intention.
Yeah.
Go try and see if the other dudes have arrived.
Okay. So how far are you going down? Are you just going to continue to move down this hallway slowly until you get to like the kind of like the intersection of all the tunnels again?
Yeah, we're basically just going to keep going towards the entrance, just walking at a normal clip, so not very suspicious, as if I'm bringing them to maybe the gate itself.
Right. Okay. And so you're basically leading this whole group, all of which have fake manacles on them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. So you get to the intersection of this hallway where you had like the massive battle with the gnolls, and where like you can either go north to the water or into the mushroom cavern or back to the entrance, just like the intersection of all 4 tunnels. And you see a gnoll that is like basically standing, looking over its shoulder and yelling at these. You can see these figures that are literally just running back and forth, like kind of running up to it, and then it kind of like gets in their way, and then they turn around and run back. You see the human miner and the boulder fist guard, like all the miners that were in the cavern with the mushrooms. They are kind of running back, and he's getting in their way, and then he kind of like turns around and sees you all and goes, "Hey, can you help me with this?"
Nope, I got orders.
Wait. Why are you talking?
Because Doc said I could talk.
Roll perception check or persuasion.
Let's go. This is going so well. Natural 1.
He goes, "Oh, that's not right." And then he's gonna turn around, and as he turns around and kind of focuses his attention on you, you see this human miner just come like running past him and kind of pushes past him, and this person just kind of comes running straight across into the water. They are literally like frenzied. Think like 28 days later running, like just absolutely frenzied and nuts, and runs across this passageway into the water. And the gnoll is now like kind of pulls his daggers out and goes, "Who are you?"
A slaver.
Nice.
Nailed it.
He's going to attack you.
Okay, here, let's pull these people up so we can see something. Give the people something to see here.
Yeah, for sure. Moving forward.
So I think Glenn was in the back.
Glenn would be.
Cosmo is right behind Rangrim.
So as you kind of come around this corner, you can see that there just like are these frenzied forms like running back, like just up and down this hallway right here behind this knoll. And they're kind of running up to the point where the knoll is at, and then running back down the hallway, just kind of like they're freaking out. And
do they have black eyes?
They do have black eyes.
So they're just running around, but they're not attacking each other. They're not attacking
each other. They're not doing anything currently right now. But this knoll is rolling an attack on Rangrim, but I don't believe it's going to hit. I think it's only a 15. He's going to dive at you with this dagger, using that like knoll war cry. So he dives at you and kind of like deflects off your armor, and is kind of like, "Oh shit!" You can see his eyes kind of go wide, and I'm going to give you an attack on him as well.
All right. This would be a regular old smashy boy, and that's another nat 1.
Oh my god! Get rid of that dice.
Yep, that one's going in the dice jail. Bye bye. You bye now.
Bye bye.
What was it? It was a natural 1.
It was a natural 1.
Okay, yeah. So you go to attack him, and you kind of like you swing your war hammer down on them and kind of like just completely whiff. Like they're looking at you kind of terrified that they just missed, and you just like completely go over their head, and like you're both just kind of staring at each other like, fuck.
Seeing the miss attack, Cosmo would just like run at him with his manacles out and just straight go for a grapple on the knoll.
Okay, go for it.
It's plus my athletics.
Yeah.
Or just my strength modifier.
It's plus your it's just your strength modifier plus the roll.
So it is a 17.
Okay. That's yeah. Let me see. Ooh, it's actually good. Hold on. So it's even. Didn't we have this happen before with grapple? We had it like match, and I think nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Yeah. They're just both like.
Yeah, it was 15 plus 2 for me.
Yeah. Okay, so Cosmo, what he was doing, he was running at the guy with his manacles, trying to use the chain on them to choke him.
Okay, so you do that. You push on him, and you're able to like push against him. I'll say that you can roll. Well, no, because you already did grapple. That's your thing. So
okay, so while he does that, Glenn closes the distance and pulls out the Spider Queen dagger and just plunges it or tries to plunge it into him. Which I'm guessing if he's in the middle of a grapple, I'd have advantage. That's a lot.
That's the kind of rolls I like to hear.
22 to hit.
That's some quick math.
So 22 to hit, and it's 10 damage plus another 11. So 21 damage. Hold on. Is there poison damage with this thing? Oh, and then a 15 Constitution saving throw. So roll a con save.
Damn.
Okay.
And then 2d6 on that.
That is 10.
Nice. So 21. So 30 damage to the knoll as I just like plunge the Spider Queen dagger into his chest, and it's 21 of stabbing damage and 9 of poison for what it's worth, and he's now poisoned for a minute. But as he like closes the different plunges into him, just whispers into his ear, he goes, "Dwarf pile," and just pulls the blade out.
How much damage was it again? Total?
30 total.
As you do that, you see the light leave its eyes, and it just kind of collapses to the ground. And as that happens, the human miner comes running back across again, and it's kind of frenzied pace, and just kind of like looks over and sees you attack the gnome. And you see it kind of just skid to a stop, and like in this very feral stance, it kind of like almost like gets down in like this hunch, and it just kind of growls at you. And then you see the 2 other forms of the Boulderfist guard and the orc miner that was in there that also has a shovel and a pickaxe on its hands, and all of them kind of like tilt their head and just kind of start moving towards you like very slowly with this crouch, and they all start diving at you, and that is where we're going to leave the session tonight.
Oh, damn. Okay. So close to getting out.
Bugger.